Have you ever wondered what separates the ultra-rich from everyone else in the 21st century? It's a question that keeps many of us up at night. We see the headlines, the glamorous lifestyles on one side, and the daily struggles on the other. This isn't just about having a bigger house or a faster car. This is the great divide of our time, and it's shaping our world in ways we're only beginning to understand. Today, we're going to dive deep into this complex issue, not to point fingers, but to uncover the real story behind the gap between the rich and the poor. What are the forces driving it? How does it affect our communities, our opportunities, and even our dreams? And most importantly, what can we do about it? Stick with me, because we're about to unpack one of the most defining challenges of our generation. Let's start by looking at the numbers, because they tell a staggering story. According to recent reports, the world's wealthiest 1% now hold almost half of all global wealth. Think about that for a second. It's a level of concentration we haven't seen in over a century. But this isn't just a global phenomenon. It's happening right in our own backyards. In many developed nations, the gap is widening faster than ever. While the incomes of top earners have skyrocketed, the wages for the average worker have barely budged for decades when you account for inflation. This means that even if you're working harder than ever, it feels like you're just treading water, or even falling behind. This isn't about being envious of success. It's about understanding a system where the ladder to opportunity seems to be getting pulled up. So, what's causing this chasm to grow? It's not just one single thing, but a cocktail of factors. One of the biggest drivers is the changing nature of our economy. The shift from manufacturing to a knowledge and tech-based economy has created a huge demand for highly skilled workers, while jobs that once supported a strong middle class have become automated or moved overseas. At the same time, policies over the past few decades have often favored capital over labor. This means that if you make money from investments, your wealth can grow much faster than if you earn it from a 9-to-5 job. It's a system that can create a snowball effect, where wealth generates more wealth, making it incredibly difficult for those starting with less to catch up. Now, let's talk about something that hits close to home for many of us: the opportunity gap. This divide isn't just about money, it's about access. Access to quality education, for starters. Children from wealthier families often attend better-funded schools, have access to tutors, and can afford college without crippling debt. This gives them a significant head start in life. Then there's healthcare. Access to good healthcare can determine not just your quality of life, but your ability to work and provide for your family. When a medical emergency can bankrupt a family, it creates a cycle of financial instability that's tough to escape. These aren't just personal problems. They are systemic barriers that reinforce the divide, generation after generation. It creates a society where your starting line has a huge impact on where you finish the race. The consequences of this widening gap are profound and ripple through every aspect of our society. Economically, when a large portion of the population has limited purchasing power, it can slow down overall economic growth. Businesses need customers, and if most people are just scraping by, the whole system suffers. Socially, it can lead to increased polarization and a breakdown of community trust. When people feel the system is rigged and that their hard work isn't paying off, it can fuel frustration and division. We start to see each other as us versus them, instead of neighbors working towards a common goal. This erosion of social cohesion is one of the most dangerous, yet least talked about, effects of a society that is deeply unequal. So, the big question is, what can be done? It can feel overwhelming, but there are solutions, and many of them are already being discussed and even implemented in different parts of the world. Investing in education is a huge one. Making quality education, from early childhood to higher education, accessible and affordable for everyone, is probably the most powerful tool we have for promoting social mobility. It levels the playing field and gives everyone a fair shot. Another key area is rethinking our tax systems to be more equitable, ensuring that everyone, including the wealthiest, pays their fair share to fund the public services we all rely on, like infrastructure, schools, and healthcare. It's not about punishing success, but about reinvesting in the society that makes success possible. Furthermore, we need to support policies that boost wages for low and middle-income workers. This could include things like raising the minimum wage to a livable wage, strengthening workers' rights to organize, and promoting profit-sharing models. This creates a virtuous cycle of economic growth that benefits everyone, not just those at the top. It's about building an economy that works from the bottom up and the middle out, creating a broad base of prosperity. Empowering workers is not just good for them, it's good for the entire economy. And finally, we all have a role to play. It starts with having these conversations, with educating ourselves and others about the realities of economic inequality. It's about getting involved in our local communities, supporting organizations that are working to close the opportunity gap, and holding our elected officials accountable. A change doesn't happen overnight, but it starts with the collective will of people who believe a fairer, more prosperous society is possible. It's about recognizing that our fates are intertwined. Society where everyone has the opportunity to thrive is stronger, more stable, and ultimately, a better place for all of us to live. The Great Divide is a challenge, but it's not insurmountable. As we've seen, the gap between the rich and poor is a complex issue with deep roots and far-reaching consequences. It's a story of changing economies, policy choices, and a widening opportunity gap that affects us all. But it's not a story without hope. By focusing on solutions like accessible education, fair tax systems, and policies that support workers, we can begin to build a more equitable future. It requires us to look beyond the headlines, understand the systemic issues at play, and work together to create a society where everyone has a chance to succeed. This isn't just an economic issue, it's about the kind of world we want to leave for the next generation. Thank you so much for joining me. Subscribe for more deep dive videos.